35.
Okay, just a mic check. Can you guys hear me? Can I hear you?
Yes.
No, I saw Pablo in here. Pablo, say something.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. All right, guys, we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Just waiting for some people to crawl in.
Awesome.
And if everybody who is on Zoom could put in the chat their name, the organization, and your email address, that'd be super helpful.
Yes. Well, I'll tell it to you guys, but I want to make sure you all, is that all right? Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Is that okay? All right, give me just a minute, we'll be good. All right, folks, thank you for everybody coming in tonight. How tonight's gonna go is I'm gonna go ahead and go through some introductions, and as I introduce people, have them come up and stand up here, kind of talk about their section of the agenda. If you didn't already get an agenda, there's some on the back table back there, along with flyers and fire processes and restrictions, how to bend and everything like that. So give everybody a minute to get seated. As each individual talks about their area of expertise, we'll pause for questions from you guys here that are here with us, and again, with the folks that are here with us online. All righty, folks. Well, thank you for being here with us today. This meeting is probably my 15th to 20th meeting that I've held for vendors. It has changed considerably from the first time we've done this. As just for updates to now it's we're bringing in other organizations to talk about their vending opportunities that we have here in Los Alamos County. So it's not just Los Alamos County doing them, it's other organizations here within Los Alamos County that are doing different vending opportunities for you guys. So each group has a different process and the way you need to sign up, paperwork that you need, different things like that. So that's why we're doing these meetings now, is for you to kind of get an idea of which each group needs and the different events that they will be doing that you can vend at, or that they'll be looking for vendors. So it's not just a good opportunity for you. These groups are looking for vendors to be at their events. So don't feel like we don't need you. We absolutely need you, and we want you to be at all the events that we can have you at. So yeah, biggest takeaway, each one of these groups has a different process of signing up, different pricing to be at those events, and different restrictions that you'll have to follow. So as you look at the agenda here, I have everybody's contact information listed here. So if you, as you take notes on the agenda and stuff like that, feel free to reach out to these folks at any time to ask for follow-up questions if you think of something later after today. All right, so I am Brendan Tuning. I'm the Los Alamos County Programs Manager. I take care of all the vending for Los Alamos County Recreation. So we take care of a lot of the summer concerts, Fair Rodeo, 4th of July. I think those are our big three ones. We have smaller events that we'll have one or two vendors at. Those are the big events where we have multiple vendors of all types at those events. So it's not just food vending, it's vending of all types, all kinds of sales, raffle sales, all that kind of stuff. So with that, most of that will go through CRCDD department, which is here today, so we'll give them a chance to speak. And I was in with our front desk at the Aquatic Center. They process this paperwork as well. So those are the two main hubs for us that you guys will be going through, and the two main departments that you'll work with to get set up to be able to bid with us. Also with me today is Catherine Hudspeth. She's the recreation superintendent. She's here with us taking care of the online stuff and then helping to answer those questions that come up online and stuff like that. So the other groups that you'll work with Los Alamos County are going to be the Los Alamos Fire Department. They're going to do, depending on the type of vending, if you have any open flames or hot pads or anything like that, you'll become very familiar with those guys because they will come through and inspect your guys' setups every week. Those inspections are critical because if they don't approve you, you can't vend. Or let me rephrase that. You can still vend, you just can't vend anything that takes those open flames or heats to prepare. So if you got cold stuff or anything like that, you can still vend, you just won't be able to use the stuff that the fire will restrict. For processing, I'll go ahead and ask Wendy Lyard here, come up, kind of speak on our behalf of the paperwork. And if you look at the very bottom of the agenda, it gives you an idea of the processing time for each of our departments. And that is, if you have all the paperwork right then and there, you can turn everything in. So, Wendy?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wendy Laird. I work in the Community Development Department. I will handle all your business licenses. If you are residing in Los Alamos, it's about a 3-day turnaround time. If you're off the bill, I can turn it around immediately. Once you get that submitted, then you obviously choose an event for you to sign up for. And you can do that through me, or you can go to the Aquatic Center to sign up. And that is just the sum of it. If you have any questions, I can be reached at the Community Development Department. We're at 1000 Central Avenue, 8150. You're welcome to come in and visit with us or give me a call. We're happy to help. Thank you.
All right, folks. So on the agenda, I actually put down Anita for that contact information. If you want, you're here as well. Oh, I actually could have had you come up there. That way they get sort of name with the face of the name. So I actually put her information down, but you can send it to her and she'll still forward it off to whoever needs it. Same thing with questions. If you call one of us and we can't answer the question, we can get you guys, we can either get the question for you or we can send you to the right folks to get that question answered. The same goes with fire, I forgot to mention. For those of you that are doing food trucks or have large tent setups that you don't like getting set up just for an inspection. If you're between Santa Fe and Albuquerque and you're setting up for another event or something within that area, If you reach out to the fire department, they can pre-inspect you prior to any of one of the times that you're gonna vent here with us in Sons County. That way you don't have to set up just for them to inspect you prior, or run the risk of setting up the night of, and then we're at risk of not putting the vendor stuff. So if you reach out to them, they will be able to set up a time if you pre-inspect your setup. That way you get whatever fixed prior to, right, to. One of the other things that I didn't list here for food vending, is you will need your New Mexico environmental department permit. And for us, Santa Fe and Espanola are the two closest places for us. Yes. Yeah, so anything that's pre-packaged, as long as you're not opening the package, you don't need the vending, the permit, food permit for that. As long as everything's pre-packaged, labeled, all that good stuff, and you're not physically handling it, or opening it for them, that you're good with that. The same thing goes with cotton candy and popcorn. They don't consider those food items for whatever fun reason. So they won't issue a permit for that. We understand that, so it's no longer really an issue for our department. As to where before we used to still ask for a letter from them stating that you don't need a food permit for that. We've done this enough times that we understand that. And they don't like to give those write-ups saying that you don't need a food permit for that. So we understand that kind of concept. But if you're serving other stuff, still need that with your paperwork. All right.
Brandon, I have a question.
Yes.
Snow cones, is they're just selling that, they need a food?
Same thing with snow cones. It's not considered a food item, so they don't need a food permit for that one. You still need everything else. You still need business license, insurance, maybe Wassamo County, if you're doing it with us as additional insurance and all that other stuff. You just won't need that one certificate for the. All right. New Mexico Gas, they're also on here. Robert, I don't see him. So they do their gas inspections for us for like the 48 concerts, or any of our other events. They do it every single event. So it's not like the fire department where they'll inspect you, wait a couple events, inspect you kind of thing, just make sure you're on gas. The New Mexico Gas will inspect every single week. It's a $15 charge every single week, and it's cash on. They don't do credit cards. They might do checks. I'll have to confirm that, but I do know they do the cash. I'm sorry? For the gas inspections. So if you have propane or any gas that you're using, sternos and stuff like that, they will inspect you. So you'll have that $15 charge every week if you're doing some concerts.
And you're talking about not gas, but like gasoline. Like we're not talking about gasoline now. Fire.
Yeah. So yeah, natural gas, propane bottles, that kind of like the cooking gas and stuff you're using for cooking. Not like the gas or petrol that you'll be using for generators or anything like that. The fire department will inspect those, but the Adam Gas will inspect them. They'll inspect them if you're using like a generator that has a gas line. So anything that has like a gas line, that's what they're really looking at, is to make sure those gas lines and connections are secure and you're not venting or leaking. That's the main thing.
We have a question online.
Yep.
Will the Bernalillo health license work as it's recognized statewide?
Yeah. So yeah, certain cities like Albuquerque or Bernalillo, they have their own health inspections or food inspections. We will accept those because New Mexico State has recognized those as well. So if the city or county issues those, we will honor those as well. All right. So next on our list is Los Alamos Main Street Credit District. If you'd like to come up. So as you look at the middle section of my agenda, you'll see summer vending opportunities. And this is where some of these vending opportunities are with these guys here.
I am not Jacqueline Connolly. I am Sandy Jones. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce, but Jacqueline is here tonight. My colleague, though, Oliva, is with Creative District.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a little new to this job. I'm mostly going to hand it over to Sandy, but yes, we have several opportunities for vending, including Science Fest. On the agenda, the dates for that are actually a little different. We're doing it in September this year, specifically September 18th through 26th. We also will have Chamber Fest coming up, and I'm going to hand it over to Sandy for that.
Do you want us to jump to that place in the agenda while we're up?
Yeah, you can talk about any of those and then make sure to talk about how to sign up.
Okay, to sign up for Science Fest, you can, pardon me, you guys have the website?
No.
Very soon, there will be a website for Science Fest on the Los Alamos Main Street and Creative District website. For Chamber Fest, that is actually happening on Saturday, June 6th. So if you could make a note of that. If you want to vend at Chamber Fest, you must be a chamber member. And we've done a lot to make that much easier. Home-based business memberships are $150 a year. So it's very easy now to become a vendor at Chamber Fest. The other thing that is not on the agenda, probably because it's kind of a half summer, but if you don't mind, I'll just share. The county and the chamber and Del Norte Credit Union are working on an event on September 12th at the airport. And we are inviting home-based businesses to, actually, you can email myself or Anita Varela to get on the list. And that's going to be a free event for home-based businesses. That's it for chamber. Tuesday night concerts, I believe, start in June, right?
Hey.
Oh, the end of May, I guess. Okay, so I don't think we have that in before.
Friday night concerts tend to have vendors.
Right, Tuesday, I'm talking about.
Tuesday, thank you. And yes, Tuesday starts in June. Traditionally, all right. So we have Tuesday nights at the square, which is right over here in our Main Street area. And traditionally, we have not had vendors, but it's a great time for let people to come together and hang out, get a feel for the community. We usually have live music. I can check in with Jacqueline when she comes back to see if there is opportunity for vending. We have people's emails and numbers signed up, so I can send a memo.
Thank you, Rosalie. At this time, can we go ahead and talk about farmers market?
Great.
Cindy Talamontes, would you come up, please? Sure. Cindy's in charge of our farmers market, and I would just be battling up here if she were not here. I think they'll be on Thursdays.
So the farmers market starts in May and it runs all the way through from May through October, every Thursday in the park across the street. And I put some of the rules and guidelines on the table. Otherwise, you can find them on the Main Street website under farmers market. We have limited space for hot cooking food, but you can also do the Homemade Act. And they changed the law here, I believe, in 2021, where you can process foods like cookies and cakes and high sugar things like that, and breads, and sell them without having to get a certified kitchen. But you do have to have liability insurance as well on that. And so that runs, that's also accepted on the application at the farmers market. And that runs, like I said, from May to October. And then we have 2 holiday markets in this room in December. And then we have a White Rock Farmers Market, and it starts in September. And it just happens to be September and October, but it's on Wednesdays and it's in the afternoon. And it's geared mainly at people getting off work, coming from the lab. It's right on their way home. And I'm trying to think of what else. So if you, that place, we have plenty of room for food trucks and hot food as well. And so the information, again, is on the website for the Main Street. Other than that, reach out if you want to do it.
Contact Cindy if you're interested in being a farmer's market vendor. One thing I did not mention, Chamberfest is going to take place in Los Alamos and White Rock. So if you're interested, we're going to have some part of the visitor center will be open for some businesses. So just contact us and we're happy to work with it. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, ladies. All right. So next on my list here is going to be Los Alamos National Labs. And we have Ali and Monday here to talk to you about how to work with them.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alison Monday, and I'm here as a representative of Lanol to talk a little bit about our food truck program. We just started our food truck program in October, and we're inviting outside community members with a food truck to come sell food at Lanol. We have an agreement that you would sign instead of a contract. There's no money exchange between any parties. It's basically we offer the opportunity to park for food and provide menu service for the employees. Pretty cut and dry. Does anyone have any specific questions? I know some of you in this room were participants of our program already. Yes?
Do they have to be inspected also by the fire department before they set up there?
All of the county rules would apply. That is correct.
Is that only on TA3?
No, we are expanding it to some of our other technical areas. We do some at TA 35, TA 22, and we've expanded to Lance, TA 53. So it really depends on what events we have and what the population is asking for. Yeah, go for it.
Do you have to get a security clearance?
You do not have to get a security clearance, but the normal badging requirements would apply. So you would receive an uncleared badge. And that is something important I should remember, or say at this time, the US citizens would be permitted to have an uncleared badge. Yes.
And is that year round?
Well, we started it in October, so we're still in our trial phase. Hopefully, we're going to continue through this October and then through December. So I don't imagine it would end, but it is a very good program. It is Monday through Friday, and the hours we're looking for are really 7 a.m. through 2 or 3 p.m. So it's definitely different than what the opportunities that the city has. We do have a tent.
Drinks and chips and different type, like these these.
Sure.
That's just like a prepackaged and.
It could be something prepackaged like that. I know a lot of our vendors are using chips and whatnot, and one of our vendors is even using a tent setup situation. So it doesn't have to be a food truck or a trailer. I would say though that all of the New Mexico state health codes do apply, and no kombucha. No kombucha? It's a drink. Oh, sorry.
I haven't tried that.
It's a homemade fermented drink that.
What about like, so just basic drinks without freedom drinks, stuff like that.
Is that homemade? I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. Yeah, please feel free to call me or
Or
email
even
me.
if like smoothies, there's something up there that, is there a way to find out what's already up there?
Sure, I can give you that information. We do have a smoothie food truck that comes up once a week. But there is an opportunity for 2 smoothie food trucks in different areas.
Okay.
So you mentioned you're saying food truck and tent.
Food truck, tent, trailer, mobile food vending operations. So do you have a specific or do you want to talk?
So I only use my food truck to like transport, but I actually do the food like outside of the truck.
Like with a table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, that would be fine. We would just say, hey, park your truck and trailer combination in this general area. Yes.
And is there power?
There is no power. So I have a flyer that you'll find on the back table, and I can definitely give more information. But there's no power. These are going to be spots in parking lots. So we ask people to either bring their own generator or have a propane solution. And then the spark and flame is a very interesting point. That does need to be inspected by the fire marshal and given special approval in only certain parking locations if there is an outflow flame. So we'd have to investigate that depending on your truck trailer opportunity.
So we have a question online. How do we sign up for that?
To sign up for that, you contact me. My email is monday@lanel.gov. It is in the agenda, and I can send you a copy of our draft agreement, and then work on badging. And I'm more than happy to take people on a tour and show you kind of what we have to see if your vending opportunity would fit in and vice versa. Any more questions?
That was it online. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So the last one I have on here is Sancrate Productions. He is actually our contractor with the concerts. And he handles Nonprofit Row, which is set up for non-vending. So we do still call them vendors, but they're just setting up tables and it's all information-based type stuff. There's no actual sales or any kind of vending like that going on in Nonprofit Row. So we'll give him an opportunity here in a minute to answer some questions. We get to answer part of my spiel. But other than that, his email is there. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to him. And yep, it is Sancrate Productions.
He is online.
And he is on.
He is.
Say he is or is
He is.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want him, you want him to wait?
Oh yeah, we'll
We'll give him a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Hang out, Pablo.
All right. So as you go through the summer vending opportunities, most of those have been talked about. The first one that is ours on that list is the 4th of July event. This event, you'll sign up the same way you would sign up with us for the summer concerts. So the process is the same.
So how many these spots are available in the parking lot of there where you have the Friday night concert?
So that completely depends on the size of the vendor. So like right now we have, I think we have about 11 vendors signed up, and most of those are trucks or trailers, food trailers. We have a couple tent vendors that are signed up in that are serving food. Those are all food vendors. So depending on the size of their setups, that kind of dictates how many more vendors we can put in that area. But that doesn't limit the number of vendors we can have, because we do have another area off to the west, southwest of the park, in the grass that we can set up other vendors and stuff like that. Mainly if they're like tent vendors and stuff like that. And we'll work with the vendors on what areas they'll be in. So it just really depends on the size of the setup of all the other vendors that dictates how much room we actually have, or how many vendors we can set up in that parking lot area.
When will we find out where?
So we send out a map every week for that week's concert. We try to keep vendors in the same locations from week to week. But there are weeks where we have to move people around just a little bit we try to fill the gap. So if we know a vendor's not going to be there a certain week, we try to stick another vendor in there or bring a vendor from the grass area up to the parking lot to be up in the parking lot with the rest of the food vendors. So there are times that we'll move people around, depending on, different situations. Sometimes we get stuck with a car in the parking lot and we have to work around that car as we're getting set up. Typically those cars will leave by the concert time. So we had to adjust our setups to work around that car until it left. So we might jostle vendors around that night to work around those kind of issues. Yes, ma'am.
So if we signed up for the whole series, is the 4th of July any different
or we're included in it?
Yeah, so the 4th of July is a separate event. So it's not part of the
So
concert.
maybe that date, what date is it?
Yeah, so it's on 4th of July.
The Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday this year. And the 4th of July will be in White Rock. So last year we had it here in Los Alamos. This year it'll be in White Rock at Overlook Park. It may still look a little different. The setup may look a little different than you may have seen in past years. But we'll know more about that as we get closer to the event. And for the vendors that do sign up for that, we will let you know what that looks like. Same kind of thing. We'll send you a map and all the details on how to get in, set up.
Last year, I signed up for like a vacation package of the Friday night concerts plus the rodeo was all in one price. Are they doing that this year because the application?
Yeah, so we, on our application, we basically have like the 1 day or 2 day event. So if you're looking at doing, so let's say the Friday night concert before the rodeo, and then you want to move over to the rodeo the next day or do the fair the next day, that would be your option, either 1 or 2 day event package. And then that's where you just let us know what location you're gonna want to be at each day. And that's how that. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that Songbird Productions is doing the nonprofit road at the concerts. Do nonprofits only sign up with them, or do they also sign up with the CDD?
No, so the nonprofits, because you're not selling anything, you're not providing a service or anything like that. You would sign up strictly through the Songbird Production. So that you would work with them on setup, time, and all that stuff. The only time you'll go to CBD is if you're actually selling something. At that point, you need a business license, and insurance, and all that stuff.
Fair be the same sex.
The fair is gonna look very similar to last year. We'll be up in the Justice Center parking lot. We will have the road closed, because we will have a crafts fair across the street. For those of you that are interested in the crafts fair, that is actually through the Arts Council here at Fuller Lodge. So that's a separate entity, that's not. Any others? So yeah, so for the 4th of July, and Fair and Rodeo are separate price tags, separate events from the Friday night. So if you sign up for the Friday night concert and you feel like you want to do the Fair and Rodeo or the 4th of July, you don't have to fill out your paperwork. We can add that to your paperwork and then adjust in that extra amount to be there. So you don't need to go through the entire process all over again. So for the entire series, for food vendors, high risk vendors, like inflatables or anything like that, if you're gonna do the entire series, that is $600 for the 13 concerts.
15.
15 concerts. So 15 Friday nights that you'll get for that $600. If you do decide to do that, we do ask that if you know of a weekend that or a Friday night that you're not going to be there, let us know ahead of time. Like I said, that way we keep another vendor the opportunity to be in that spot for that weekend. And then the following week when you're back, you'll more than likely right back in your same spot that you had been in prior to. Now we do give priority to the vendors that came in first, first come, first serve type of thing. So the vendors that came in first and paid for the series will get priority. The vendors that show up right before the first concert is now right. So that's kind of how you're spacing. Now that doesn't always mean you're going to get like front center spacing, because let's say we have one of our big food trucks to the east comes up. They're not going to be parked up front. They're actually going to be on the back row because they're so big. We don't want to block the view of the concert per se, right? So even though they might have been the first ones in, they're not going to be right up. Okay, so that there are limitations to the first ones in. So for Friday night, There are a few changes this year. Concerts start at 6:30 this year. Is that correct?
6:30, yes,
And we'll go until
30.
9:30. So the time's a little bit different, as well as the setup times. Last year, you had to have set up and ready to go by 4 p.m. This year we 5 p.m. That changed. So you have to be set up for inspections, and this is for fire and enemy gas. If you're not set up ready for them at 5 o'clock, they will pass you up and you may not be able to vent that night. So just an FYI for that. You are able to start coming into the parking lot to set up for the concerts by 2 p.m. Staff will be there to help you get to your spots. We do ask if you show up earlier and staff's not there, to go ahead and wait until staff gets there to kind of help you out, just in case there are changes that need to be made that day. We'll go ahead and let Pablo with Sancre Productions kind of give a little spiel about the nonprofit road. Brain fart there, I forgot what it was.
Great. Good evening, everybody.
Pablo?
Yes, can you hear me?
Pablo's mic is not working.
Can you hear me now? Damn. But my video is, can you
I
hear me
could
now?
probably give you that spiel,
Pablo,
but I would get very wounded very quick because he talks very fast and it's very exuberant.
Mike, Pablo's having mic problems. Like he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Well, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Nope. I see
Yeesh.
you, can't hear you. Yeah, his mute's on, he's unmuted.
Nope.
Okay.
Got nothing. So
So if you want to be part of Nonprofit Road, Pablo is your guy. Reach out to him via the email on the agenda. He will happily get with you, get you guys set up. I'm not going to speak to exactly how his process goes, because it's not my process, so I don't, get things wrong. But he'll be more than happy to work with you. He's been with us now for 6 years.
this is the 7th.
7 years. So he's got the process down. He knows what's going on. Nonprofit row is typically closer to the stage along the sidewalk that goes up next to the teen center. So we got grass there. And depending on the week, he's the one that sets you guys up and tell you where to set up that week to week.
All right. Pablo, did we miss anything? Can you try now?
Can you hear me?
We can't hear you. Barely.
Wow.
There it
Okay.
is. There
Okay.
it is.
Good evening, everybody. So yeah, we got the contract about 7 years ago, and we decided to create an area for nonprofits and people that are doing good in the community. So we have a separate process. Just email me at info@sancreproductions.com if you or anybody you know has a cool nonprofit that wants to pass out information. Additionally, if food vendors want to feed hungry artists or crew members, then they are always welcome to bring things to the stage and they will be eaten. And we will give you a shout out from the stage for such endeavors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Please give me an email and I'll give you the whole process, but it's showing up at 5:30. You cannot bring any vehicles onto the grass. You have to bring your own tables. You cannot bring any yo-yos or any helium balloons or balloons at all for that matter. And there's some other items that I think they don't want us to bring. And I wanted to remind Brendan that Wendy says she hates those salt packets, so that might be something you want to announce. But yeah, so as far as Nonprofit Row, shoot me an email and I'll put you in on a weekly basis and we'll find a space for you. Thank you.
All right. So Pablo also didn't mention that they are looking for an alcohol vendor at our week for the 4th of July. So if you guys know any alcohol vendors, we'll be looking for one of those for concerts in our 4th of July event. So I reach out to Pablo for the summer concerts and then reach out to us for the 4th of July.
Hey, I got a quick question for Catherine real quick. Am I controlling vending for nonprofits at 4th of July as well?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, nonprofits for Fourth of July, reach out to us.
So for the, Fourth of July or any of these concert events, do you guys do, we sell cigars, sometimes we're looking to that park for an alcohol vendor. Do you guys allow like smoking at these concerts, like cigars?
So they are open parks, so it's open container, so like with the alcohol and stuff like that. You will see people walking around the park with open containers, which is totally okay. If the beer vendor is there, they will still have closed containers. If they're open containers, you actually have to stay within their beer garden, to consume that alcohol, if it's open when you get it. If it's closed, you can take that out of the beer garden and drink it within the park. The cigar and cigarettes,
Not cigarettes, we have good quality cigars.
okay, well, cigars, or tobacco,
Yeah.
so we'll say. We've never actually had one of those vendors, but I don't see why we couldn't have one of those vendors. It'll just
Can't
be,
smoke. They can sell it, but they can't smoke on. There's a chapter 18.
she's correct, yes. So yeah, the parks are no smoking parks. So you can sell them, but they won't be able to smoke them, within the park.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't stop you from selling them, but we do have to make sure that they don't smoke.
Yeah, no, we're. Thing that's together. I mean, it is what it is, you have other stuff and nothing else.
Yep. All right, any other questions, 4th of July concerts? No questions.
Yes.
So I'm wondering about the fire department's inspection.
Huh?
So how often need to be done by them?
So they will inspect you on your very first concert or event. So they will do that, right out the gates. They want to make sure that you're good to go, good and safe right out the gates. Inspections after that it kind of up to them. They might inspect, they might stop by every concert. Especially if there's a different gentleman or lady that is there that night inspecting, they might come by and inspect you again. As long as you've been inspected once, you shouldn't have any other issues, throughout the rest of the season. If it's the same firefighter that's there, he may be like, I inspected you guys last week, and he may not come to see you again for another 3 weeks. But that's totally up to them on how they want to do it. As for the gas inspector, they'll be there every week looking for that $15. So I think, you had a question?
Yes, so the selling of the alcohol, as long as it's closed, you're able to sell it and they can make afterwards.
In the park, yes. Outside of their beer garden. The alcohol vendor will be required to set up a beer garden for those beverages that are open when they get them. You will not be able to open that beverage until you leave the beer garden. Once you've left, then you can open it. Our parks are also, like I said, open container parks. So that means you'll see folks with alcohol that they've purchased and brought to the park. So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah, Brendan, is it usually closed, keep the little beer garden, I think some beers, I can't remember.
It's changed over the last couple of years. It hasn't been the same one every single year. And as I said, this year, we're probably gonna start looking for beer vendors for the whole event. So yeah, it doesn't have to be any particular one or any particular style of alcohol. We're looking for someone.
So is the beer garden mandatory, like if you're just selling it slowly?
Yes, the beer garden is mandatory for 2 reasons. One, for if they're open containers. If you're not selling open containers, the beer garden is still mandatory because they have to make sure that folks going in to purchase are 21 and over.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's got to be a buffer between where you're selling and, underage. Yes, ma'am.
At some point, will there be a way for us to see who else is vending at the event, so we can
Yeah, anytime if you reach out to us, we'll let you know, what, it's not so much like who's vending or but like what they're vending. We always get that question about like, if we have too many of one vendor, will we limit vendors? We don't limit vendors. So if we get, a couple years ago, we had like 7 taco vendors. They weren't so happy with it, but the public was, right? Because if there's multiple of the same vendors, it encourages that vendor to be quicker, maybe a little more aggressive on their pricing. And, quicker to serve because the lines do get long and people do wait a long time for food. So if there's multiple of the same vendor, people still kind of get what they want, without having to wait too long. So yeah, unfortunately, we won't cap the type of vendors. We just leave it up to you guys. But we will let you know if there are other of the same vendors. If you ask, I'm not just gonna give you that information, but if you do ask, we will give that to you. Any other questions? All right. Vending paperwork. I'm sorry I didn't bring any of our vendor forms tonight. I typically do, and I spaced printing those out and bring those with me tonight. But they are online. So if you go to your Los Alamos Recreation page, Los Alamos County, those all the paperwork and everything you need for business license, insurance for the type of vending you're doing is on our website. Just go to our vendors and permits page. And if you need help getting there, give us a call. We'll walk you through the website, how to get there and download that stuff. And we can. Okay, so yeah, if you go to the Aquatic Center or to the Unity Building to CDD, we all have paper copies there for you to pick up. There's a couple here. So we got like 4. So first come serve on those too.
So the only thing about those forms is we have not added 4th of July to it yet. I'm behind.
Yeah, so for the forums, the 4th of July will just be the 1-day event. There's no second day attached to that. Well, I guess I lied. So if you want to do the Friday night concert before, and then 4th of July the next day, you can do the 2-day. The 2 days, $400. Sorry guys, so most of this, I deal with a lot of food vendors, so those pricings will be stuck in my head the most. But like a single day, it's 200, 150. 2 days, 200.
How much for a season?
For the summer concert, it's $600 for a food vendor, high risk. For non high risk, so like you're just selling, let's say boomerangs, or the forbidden yo-yos, that'll be $400 for the season.
What about for the, single day and the 2 days?
So again, it depends. So the single day for food vendors.
For non-food.
Oh, for non-food? All right, single day for non-food is $30. Or I'm sorry, that's nonprofit. So for nonprofit folks, if you do set up with us at one of our other events outside of the concerts, because the concerts, Soundcare Productions take care of, it'd be $30, $50 for 2 days. For sales, it's $100, and then for the 2 day, it's $150. For sales, 1 day is $150, and the 2 day is $200.
Non-food.
Well, the last one were for food. So the 150 and 200 were for food.
For food vendors.
For food vendors, yeah. The non-food, but for sales is 100 and 150. Yes, ma'am.
Did I understand that right? You said that we could sign up for a 2-day and we could have 1 day at the fair and 1 day at the 4th of July?
Yeah, I mean, we could do it that way. They don't technically have to be on the same weekend per se. You're just signing up for 2 days. Same thing with the concerts. Like if you know you want to be there 1 day 1 month and 1 day the next month, you can pay for the 2 day, and then you can be there for those 2 days. So we're not telling you have to be there consecutive days. So I will say, if you look at the housing, you know, once you've attended the concerts or events, or especially the concerts, if you've attended like 4 concerts and you paid for that, you're pretty much already paying for the season. So you might as well just go for the season right out of the gates. Save yourself some money from, you know, shortchanging yourself to pay for party nights on. So definitely a lot more cost saving. Other than that,
Can I add?
yep, go ahead.
So there's 2 events, that didn't quite get mentioned. The Creative District is gonna be doing a night market at the concert for fair and rodeo. So there's an opportunity for different types of, you know, we're still doing vending of all sorts, but the Creative District, we're giving them a space on the north side of Ashley Pond to do some additional vending, during that concert. And then we are also working on an event for September 19th. It is a Trans Rocky single track mountain bike race. It is going to be most of the day. The event starts at 9 a.m. and goes until about 4. The organizers and the county were working together. We are looking for vendors during that time. The central location of the event is going to be Ashley Pond. The start and finish will be around Ashley Pond, around 20th Street. We will have the stage set up for announcements, and we plan on having 2 bands. And there's going to be what they call a chillville for families, friends who are waiting for the racers to come back and finish. And also time for the racers to kind of chillax and hang out and get something to eat, because they're going to be starving by the time they come back. So there's opportunities for vendors at that event as well, at Ashley Pond. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. My email and contact information is also on the agenda for that. And I think that's all I had to offer for that one.
So yeah, our first Friday night concert is May 23rd. Is that correct?
May 22nd.
22nd. So that'll be our first concert of the season. Then it's every Friday after that through August, 1st of August.
August 28th.
End of August. There you go. Fair and Rodeo is the second weekend of August. And that's Friday night concert, of course, that Friday night. The fair is Saturday morning, and then the rodeo this year is actually going to be Saturday evening into the night, and then Sunday is Sunday after. So those are the opportunities you got.
What was the dates again?
For the fair rodeo is the second weekend of August. I think it's the 8th and 9th.
8 and 9.
And then our first concert is
Hey, Brendan, it's actually the first weekend of August. It's going to be August 7th will be the concert, and August 8th will be your rodeo.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I'm sorry, the first weekend. First weekend.
Oh, did you say the first? I'm sorry, I missed it. Sorry.
So yeah. Any other questions? I'll be hanging out for just a little bit longer. I can talk to you guys individually if you need. If you have any questions you wanted me to give answers to everybody? Nobody?
So we will post this video on our Los Alamos County page under recreation for this event. We'll also have a recording up on Facebook in case you guys want to go look at it again. All of the documents that Brendan had talked about today are all online. If you go to our Los Alamos County recreation page, there's a tab that says permits and vending, and all the information is on there as well. We try and make it straightforward, but if you get lost, give us a call. We'll walk you through it. It's all good.
And for those of the guys that got here earlier before I got the paperwork out, The fire department does have documentation on the back table here with the flyers, letting you know about the different requirements and stuff they have there. That'll also pertain to the stuff for Lionel as well. All right, guys.
All right, any questions online? I'm
I
not
guess
seeing
real
any.
quick too for Lionel, gas inspections are different for you guys, correct? You guys get your own inspections? Okay. So yeah, Lionel does their own gas inspections, so you don't have to worry about any gas. All right, guys, thank you guys for coming and look forward to seeing you this summer.
I have a question.